How's it going, everyone? My name's Will from Ghost Hack, and today I'm going to give you a little bit of a cinematic music producer's perspective of Ghost Hack's cinematic package, Tesseract Universal Cinematic Sounds. Now, Tesseract is a package designed for both music producers and filmmakers to work on their, cinematic projects. If you want a more detailed overview of what's actually in the pack, you should follow the link in the top description. That will bring you right to the Tesseract page on the Ghost Hack website, and you can watch a video, about me kind of explaining all the different elements that are in this pack. But today I'm just going to go over it a little bit, from more of a music producer's side of things and less of the filmmakers. And I'm just going to use FL Studio for this, but understand that you can use pretty much any DAW on the market as well. I mean, the package itself is made up of tons of wave audio files and MIDI files, so they're compatible with tons of different programs. But I just want to go in here, and the first thing I want to touch on is going to be actually the construction kits here. So you can kind of see these in the sense of a DAW. So I've explained the construction kits in a little more detail on the overview page and the website, link in the top of the description. But I'm just going to go in and kind of look at one in FL Studio as well and kind of break it down. So I'll take kit 30, Drama. I've never heard this one. Maybe this one will be kind of interesting. This is in 120 BPM, so let's give this a listen. Let me bring it down here. It's very ambient right off the bat. Nice sound effects. Let's skip over here because it looks like there's more transients. Ooh. That sounds really good. I really want to pick that apart. So what I can do is I can go into the stems now, and you can see there's all the different stems. And kind of an easier way to bring all of these in, at least in FL Studio, would be to right click and hit open right here. So we have all the files just in the Windows menu. And then if we select all of them, we can just drag them right in here, and then we can wait for all of these to load, and we have everything kind of separated out, and we can arrange it how we want to. Yeah, you see we have all the different individual pieces. Now we can listen to all of them individually. And keep in mind this is in 120, so let's change this to 120 right here. Maybe we can kind of switch these up and kind of make a little arrangement for these. Like, let's say we want to combine just specific instruments to create our own part. Like, let's say I want the drums to hit right here, so I want some of this. And let's say I want this piano key hit right here. I want that to happen. That sounds pretty awesome. Let's see what this is. That's just like a sound effect. Maybe we can layer this in somewhere, like maybe not perfectly lined up. Just maybe somewhere right there we can turn it down. And you can see the process of me kind of stitching these together and creating my own little sequence here. Like, what's this right here? Yeah, that's like a lower kind of pounding, and we have this. And kind of goes along the same lines. We have kind of a crash here, which I definitely do want to use right in this moment as well, and I just want to turn it down. Let's duplicate those drums. Let's add the piano again. And there's that sound effect. Let's try to find some other sound effect that's kind of a reverse, like into something. That's kind of cool. What about this right here as well? Yeah, it's kind of big. Let's go with this one right here, so we can kind of have a transition into the next part. Yeah, it sounds very cool. And then when everything's kind of about to repeat here, now we can use that bigger one that I just played right there to go right here, and then we can add some more layers. Turn that down a little bit. I want to add this right here. That choir, it sounds very nice, just that we can layer it in the background. And I'll probably put it right here as well. Now I want to take this sound and start to incorporate that in. And it also has, you know, kind of a different version here, which is it's sort of kind of it being high passed down. And I think it's kind of an interesting effect. So we can start to layer that right there. And then we'll take this one and throw that right here. And we need some low frequency stuff as well, some bass, which I think it's time to bring in this. We can kind of throw that in there. It almost sounds like a heartbeat. That could add a lot of rhythm to it in the low frequencies. In many ways, that kind of matches up with the drums. And I'm also going to add this low kind of sweeping pad coming in right here. That adds to the low frequencies, and we can layer it with this kind of sweep. I think that could add a very nice texture to all this. We can add the big sweep right here as well. And in this last little part, we're going to duplicate all of this and we're going to add some strings in here. So let's take these strings. We have this one first. Which sounds very nice. And we also have these. I love the intense pattern of that, so we can throw that in there as well. We can also add some more impact here. So what's this? Oh, I think we already used that right there. Let's try to find something else that has impact. Ah, see, that's kind of interesting. A lot on the low frequency, so I'll probably turn that down a bit. We just really want to fill in that space a lot. That space can probably be filled in by sound effects like these that are kind of swelling and rising up. And then the last thing I would want to add for this little short example would be this right here, this kind of low drone. There's a lot of sub in it. It's nice and low frequency, so we can kind of fill out those gaps in the lows, and we'll probably turn it down a little bit so it's not too jarring. And so using some of the samples I was given, not all of them, but just some of them, I created this little new pattern that I kind of got inspiration from just listening to the other pieces put together in the other one. So we can listen to this new one that I kind of constructed. The mixing isn't perfect because I just kind of threw it together, but this is just to give you an example of the kind of things you can do with all the separated parts of a construction kit. And I don't necessarily want to do this for this one, but in theory, let's say I wanted to add another instrument that layers with these choirs right there, and I want it to play the exact same notes. I can 100% do that if I go into, say, if I want it to be a piano. Let me go in here and I can take the MIDI from this kit. You see there's the MIDI that comes with it, and I can find the choir hits right here. And they're right there. And now you can see the actual MIDI that's being played. So if we go into pattern, I could have a piano layered with those choir hits as well. All we have to do is find the pattern 1. We can first of all find where it begins, and then we can place that down everywhere the choir is, so we can play both at once. Like that. And you have the MIDI not just for the choirs, but you know, a lot of the other instruments as well, the ones that are melodic. Obviously there isn't MIDI for sound effects because those are atonal, but bass line, brass, strings, piano, bass, choirs, all the things like that, they're separated out into the MIDI files as well. So you have those notes if you want to add more instruments playing the same thing. And the steps that I did right there with that construction kit could be done like 50 times because there's 50 different construction kits with, you know, a bunch of different moods and vibes that are correctly labeled on each of them. But you don't have to just assemble things with like construction kits. You can assemble tracks and, you know, progressions with the other files as well that are kind of separated. Like if we go in, we can find some like trailer drums. Maybe we can start with those in this trailer box right here. Again, there's a detailed overview on the page, link in the description. But if I want to find some drums here, I like that one. It's 100 BPM. We can kind of start with that. So let's go down to 100 BPM and see what else we can find that's around that tempo. Actually, on second thought, I want to take this 90 BPM drum loop because I really like how it works. It's got a nice understandable pattern that's, you know, kind of fun to follow. And we can find instruments that kind of match up with this right here. Like here's a C sharp. This could kind of work. And it has kind of a tail right there, so you can work with the reverb. But there's a piano that should kind of follow the same progression. Well, this piano is actually at a different speed, so I kind of want to stretch it into place there, just basically, and then I can choose a stretching method. Let's see which one sounds best. There's just stretch, which actually sounds pretty clean. Oh, we're gonna have to stretch it a little bit more, but actually with just the piano and the drums, it sounds very nice. Might hold off on the strings until like another part, but there's another sound I want to use here, which is this organ sound. That's slowly rising up. I think it sounds very nice. And what I want to do is I want to actually stretch this into place because it is also at a different tempo. So let's just stretch this here. And let's make sure that it's stretched so it stays in pitch. And actually right now, since we stretched it, it's going really fast. And I actually wanted to go a little bit slower, so I'm going to stretch it out to maybe double its length here. Like that, and that'll probably be a little smoother. Also, I'm going to chop this up right here, just in these segments, so I can kind of switch them around and shorten it up a little bit. I'll show you what I mean. So I chop it up right here. I'm going to delete this one, scoot this one in, delete this one, scoot this one in, delete this one, scoot this one in, and then yeah, we can just delete this one, and then we have kind of just a shorter version right here that skips around like that. And then I'm just going to cut off this tail so it repeats. But I want to add some sound effects in here too, just so I can show you that there's a lot of other stuff in this pack as well, you know, along with drums and instruments. We have impacts here. A lot of this stuff is really cool. kind of want to use this punch slam right in this transition right here. So let's move this organ up, then we can work on this transition. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, so it's not very impactful, it's just kind of a transition there, but I do want a more impactful thing. Maybe the hard slam right there, that's kind of cool. I kind of want to layer the breakage one too, just because it has a lot of high and mid frequencies that could add more impact. Yeah, I like that. And I could add that one just right there. It sounds kind of nice. That hard slam is a good one to layer with these drums. Next, let's find some, like a sinister tone to layer over this. That one actually is a lot of fun. I like the sound of that one. If we can just layer that in the background. And maybe we can kind of slide this into place, because it does sort of have a pitch, even though it's still atonal. Maybe I can pitch it into place. Yeah, kind of like that. I do also want to use this cymbal right here. It's like a weird ambient cymbal whoosh. So we can throw that in right there and turn that down a bit. And these kind of just general effects, they have a lot of cool stuff in here. Like, that's awesome. Yeah, that could go like right there. And maybe we can kind of pitch this around as well. Yeah, we could pan that to the left. That sounds really, really good. See what other kind of stuff they have in here. We also have this kind of analog swell, which sounds really interesting. That we can try putting somewhere maybe right here. Yeah, it sounds good, and we can line it up just like that. It's just add a little more low end kind of warmth and texture. Then I definitely want to add a riser kind of going into the slightly heavier part, so let's find a riser. All of these are really interesting. I just want something kind of noisy. Yeah, I really like this bubbled up riser right here. And we could just fade out the beginning. So it kind of fades in, maybe starts a little more like there. You can see it at the bottom timeline right there. We can turn that down. And we can reverse something else here as well. Actually, what I did is I reversed a reversed. I had this water blast sample. And I just reversed it, and so it goes up and has that little peak and then slides in, and you can hear how it sounds right here. Just like that. Now I do want to take one more impact. Yeah, probably something soft. Just to put right at the beginning here. Because I do kind of want to fade in this, fade in these drums right here. And I might be able to do this just by using this modulation X right here. And do it like that, so I can create this automation clip and it can just slide right up. Maybe we can start a little higher. And at this point, it could go into a bigger crescendo and you can have more stuff going on, and you 100% could do that. There's plenty of things to go through in this pack. I only kind of scratched the surface with this little lineup right here, but this is just what we have after throwing together something quick with all of these individual elements. So there we go. That's definitely a cool little thing that I made there from just pulling in some samples and other sounds from Tesseract. And there's a ton of inspiration just seeping out of this pack, ready to be used. Again, I just touched on, I just scratched the surface of the kind of stuff that's contained in this pack. If you want to see a larger overview of this package, you can follow the link in the top of the description, and it'll bring you to a page with a video that has that as well. But this pack is very useful for music producers as well as filmmakers. If you're into cinematic music production, I highly recommend Tesseract. There's just tons and tons of useful content in this package. So thank you guys so much for watching. We really hope you enjoy Tesseract, and I will see you in the next video. Happy producing.